Dragons! They're everywhere, and there are 183 different kinds roaming the skies. You are an amateur dracologist, excavating an expansive network of caves, hoping to entice some of these beautiful winged lizards to roost in your sanctuary. Welcome to Wyrmspan. A quick note for Wingspan fans before we get started here. This game is different. There's a nice little bullet point list on page 6 of the rulebook that summarizes that for you, but I'd recommend you don't skip anything in this teach if you don't want to screw anything up. Put the Dragon Guild board, card display board, and round tracker board somewhere near the center of the table. Randomly pick a Dragon Guild tile and place it in the center of the Dragon Guild board, using the appropriate side for your player count. Shuffle all the dragon cards and deal 3 face up to the card display board. Place the rest in a face-down deck next to the board. Shuffle the cave cards and do the same thing. Put the round marker on the round 1 space of the round tracker board, shuffle the objective tiles, and randomly pick 4 of them to put in random spaces with a random side facing up. Put the rest back in the box. Leave all the coins, eggs, and tokens in piles or supply trays where everyone can reach them. Give each player a player mat, a matching set of player markers, adventure meeple, and guild token, 6 coins, an egg, and 3 cards each dealt from the dragon and cave decks. Each player chooses any 4 cards from these 6 to keep, discards the others into face-up discard piles, then takes 3 resources of their choice from the supply. Put your player mat in front of you, your starting resources, coins, and player markers to the left of it, or wherever you have table space anyway. Your starting egg on one of the nest icons on your mat, your adventurer in base camp, your guild token on the start space of the Dragon Guild board, and your cards somewhere handy. Give somebody the first player token, and you're ready to get started. A game of Wyrmspan takes place over 4 rounds. Each round, players take turns in clockwise order, performing 1 action on each turn, until all players have passed. Once you pass, your turn is skipped for the rest of the round. There are 3 actions you can take on your turn: Excavate, Entice, or Explore. You'll decide which action you're taking, move your adventurer to the appropriate section of your player mat, pay the cost of the action, and then do the thing. When you excavate, you'll choose the leftmost empty space of any of your 3 cave tracks. The first space is already excavated, but there are 3 more in each cave. Pay 1 coin to the excavate space on your mat, along with any eggs required for the spaces in the 3rd or 4th columns. Anytime you have to pay an egg, it can come from any dragon card on your mat or from your nest. Place any cave card from your hand, regardless of its color, on the empty cave space you chose, making sure to line it up in the middle square boundary so the stop sign underneath it is still visible. Then, in either order you choose, you can activate the When Played benefit from the cave card and the When Covered benefit on the space you just played it on, if there is one. That second part only applies to the spaces in the 4th column, which give you the option to exchange any 3 items for a coin from the supply. Those items can be resources or cards in your hand. When played card benefits are always optional, but if a card you play gives your opponent something, all your opponents get to choose whether to claim the benefit independently, even if you opt not to take it. To entice a dragon to your sanctuary, you'll choose a dragon card from your hand, pay a coin to the Entice space, and pay any additional cost indicated in the upper left corner of the card to the supply. Then, play the dragon onto the leftmost excavated cave space of its preferred habitat, as indicated on the left side of the card. If the dragon has this icon in the ability text section of the card, that indicates a When Played benefit, which works the same way as the cave cards. This clock icon indicates a once per round ability that will trigger at the end of every round. This flag icon indicates an endgame ability that will give you bonus victory points if you meet its requirements. And this adventurer icon indicates an if activated ability. which will trigger when you take the Explore action. When you do that, choose your Crimson Cavern, Golden Grotto, or Amethyst Abyss. Pay the cost to the topmost empty space of that section, and walk your adventurer through the section, gaining any if-activated abilities triggered along the way. Move your adventurer from left to right along the path depicted along the bottom of the cave, stopping at any adventurer icons you cross and receiving their benefits. These appear on some dragon cards, as well as in the gaps between them, printed on your player mat. Just like when played abilities, these are always optional, but other players get to choose whether to claim something that benefits them independently from your decisions. Once your adventurer comes across a stop sign, your turn ends. Once you've finished resolving the action you choose to perform on your turn, you'll move your adventurer back to base camp on your player mat. Then, check your hand and personal supply. If you have more than 9 coins, resource tokens, or cards between both dragons and caves, discard excess until you have no more than 9 of each. Refill any empty card slots in the display, and play proceeds clockwise to the next player. Now that we've gone through your available actions, let's talk about what all those little benefits and stuff do. If you're instructed to cache a resource, that means you'll put a resource token from your personal supply on the card in question, unless you're specifically directed to take it from or cache it somewhere else. If you're told to tuck a card, that means you'll place that card face down underneath a dragon you've already played. Unless given other instructions, the tuck card has to come from your hand. Tuck cards don't count as dragons for any endgame abilities or end-of-round goals, but they are worth 1 victory point each at the end of the game. If you're instructed to lay an egg, that means you can place an egg from the general supply on any dragon with room in its nest, or on one of the 2 nest icons on your player mat. The color of the egg doesn't matter for gameplay purposes. A dragon's nest capacity is depicted in the upper right section of the card, with a number of egg icons indicating how many eggs it can hold. If you're told to gain a card, unless additional restrictions are specified, you may gain that card from either the face-up display or from the top of the deck. If these instructions specify that the card must come from the display, and there are none available, don't do anything. If you're told to draw a card, on the other hand, that card must come from the appropriate deck. If instructed to reveal a card, you'll flip the top card of the deck face up for all to see before resolving the rest of the ability. It's also important to note that at any time during the game, you may exchange any 2 resources, gold, crystal, meat, or milk, for one of another type of resource. Whenever you resolve this icon on an ability, you may advance your guild token 1 space clockwise around the Dragon Guild track, gaining the benefit printed on the space you land on. If you advance your guild token more than 1 space in the same turn, gain the benefit on each space you pass as well. Whenever you reach one of the 2 brown spaces at the top and bottom of the board, you must place one of your unused player markers on one of the squares on the Dragon Guild tile and collect its corresponding benefit. With the exception of the long rectangular space at the bottom, each of these squares can only hold 1 player token. Each player may only place a maximum of 4 player tokens on the Dragon Guild, but you can continue to advance your guild token around the track, skipping that benefit when you come to a brown space. If, on your turn, you don't have enough coins and resources left to pay for any actions, or you don't want to perform any of the actions you can afford, you must pass. All your turns will be skipped for the remainder of the round. Once all players have passed, the round ends. All players discard any coins and eggs paid as costs on their player mats. All once per round abilities are activated in turn order, starting with the player with the first player marker. If a player has multiple once per round dragons, they may activate them in any order they choose. And for any ability that presents all players with a choice or benefit, each player makes that choice or gains that benefit in clockwise order. Check the round objective token for the current round and count how many of that objective each player has. Each player places a player marker on the round board in the space corresponding to their placement. If there's a tie, all tied players place their marker on the same space, and do not skip any places behind them like you do in Wingspan. And any players who have none of the specified objective must place their marker on the all others space for the round. Once you've done that, advance the round marker one space to the right, discard all cards in the display and deal out new ones, and give each player 6 coins and an egg. The coins are added to any coins you didn't spend in the previous round. The egg can be added to any dragon with room in their nest, or to one of the nest icons on your mat. And if you have nowhere to put it, you don't get the egg. Pass the first player marker to the left and begin the next round. At the end of the 4th round, add up all your victory points as follows, using the included score pad to help with the math. Face-up dragon cards on your player mat are worth the number of victory points indicated in the upper right corner. Player markers on the Dragon Guild tile may be worth points as indicated in their corresponding spaces. Endgame abilities may award you with bonus points. Eggs, cached resources, and tucked cards are worth 1 point each, unless something specifies otherwise. Round objectives are worth the number of points indicated by the space your player marker is in. Ties are friendly, so all tied players score the full point value. Leftover coins are worth 1 point each, and every 4 other items you have left, including resources, dragon cards, and cave cards, are worth 1 point, rounding down. Whoever has the most points is the winner. In the event of a tie, whoever has the most face-up dragon cards on their player mat claims the victory. And that's everything you need to know to play Wyrmspan. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the comments section down below. And while you're at it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ding that notification bell so you don't miss anything from us. Be sure to catch our live show every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time right here, where we play games like this one with an interactive twist, because you can influence the course of the game with our buff and nerf house rules. Thanks for watching, and may your dragon wrangling be safe and prosperous.